It's about to get live. We keep it pretty level, no surprise. Come and listen to the topics busting. Yeah, check out our discussion. Keith Norris and D2K. K-Bump 20 on the MIC. Jet our night all the way in Germany. Leveled head, you know who that boy is. But I say, live and level, live and level. We on the MIC. Live and level, live and level. We just talking them games. Live and level, live and level. Take a seat and listen up, man. Live and level, live and level. What's up, people? This is your boy Leveled Head back with another Live and Level. This is episode 177, and we are here to have a good time. So, if you're in the live chat, make some noise. I'm gonna let these dudes introduce themselves. Go ahead, man. Jump on in here. We got Keith, D2, and Mr. K-Bum. Argue all day 20. He's here.
Nice. What's good, everybody?
What's good, folks?
I like
D2.
that. K-Bum,
Man, we've been going back and forth over this Captain Marvel all day.
Like we don't got nothing to do up here.
Right. So welcome to the show. This is the Live and Level Gamers podcast. We got a lot to discuss. Cuphead makes the switch. And Stadia got everyone in a fit. So, but before we go there, anything y'all want to talk about, discuss before we get into what we've been gaming on? K-Bum, anything you want to talk about there? K-Bum, you got anything you want to discuss? You got anything you want to talk about? We've been talking about it all day. So let me start it like this. So I got a chance. Me and my wife went out and saw Captain Marvel yesterday. And because I felt like I was the weak link, I think everybody here has seen it, right?
Nope.
Yes. Oh,
D2KR. You haven't seen it yet?
No.
Man. Do you want to? You said you didn't want to see it though, right?
No.
Okay, so we can talk about it. So I went out to see it because I've been hearing so much glorious praise around the movie that I thought, hey, I'm missing something great. Not. But we went out and we saw it, and I come back to tell you that this is the trashiest Marvel MCU movie in the Marvel or the MCU universe. That's my opinion. It's trashier than the original Captain America. It's trashier than Ragnarok. It's trashier because they jacked up quintessential elements of the MCU that they did not have to touch. They jacked up Nick Fury. They jacked up the Tesseract. They jacked up why Nick Fury put the Avengers together. There were so many problems with this movie that K-Bum has no legs to stand on, would try to say it was bad, but not as bad as I'm saying. Now, it was trash. It was garbage. It was deserving to be cast out with the flies and all the other foul things that we cast out and flushed down our toilet. That's what this movie was. Who's the person who played Carl? K-Bum all day long. Carl. Who played her?
Carl.
Who played Carl? Brie Larson is trash. She was trash. This movie was trash. And so I'm gonna let you guys go ahead while I'm setting up my point, and then we can get into these topics. Trash. Anyway, go ahead.
Hey, boy, somebody all up in they feelings, boy.
Trash, man. Garbage. Hold up.
Trash. Garbage. Fail. This is a trash movie, bruh. F minus.
That's what it is, man. Go ahead, K-Bum. Keith.
K-Bum, go ahead, man.
What am I going ahead, man? What's going on here, man?
Garbage. Fail. This is a trash movie, bruh. F minus.
What else you got to say, K, bro?
Man, I thought it was a decent movie.
Hold on. What was that?
It's called congratulations. You played yourself.
Say that again, Mr. Keith. No, say it louder for the people in the back.
It was a decent movie.
It was a decent movie. All right.
It was just a decent movie. It wasn't.
Oh, you thought he was on your side?
Oh, Keith, you set me up for the fail, man.
No, I thought it was a decent movie. I mean,
You set me up. It wasn't. Okay, go ahead.
It's hilarious, bro.
But
we got Smash Bros, though.
I recognize that it was just a vehicle to get her into the MCU. That's it, man. And I that's how I took it. I didn't take it as screwing it, because this movie is going to be forgettable. You're going to forget that Captain Marvel even existed, because you're ready for the end game and you just needed her to be there. And this is how they chose to put her in there. But I will say this: interesting. How do you call it? Is it Droll or Groll? What's the goose that can transform?
Coming to Scrolls.
Scrolls. Yeah.
Bro.
I think they're gonna have a bigger part. They're gonna come back up. They can transform. Yeah.
Hold up.
Coming to Scrolls.
Yeah.
Let me welcome to the show, Dark Sun Rider. Okay, so Keith said it's decent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I would agree with you. I would agree if they hadn't jacked up so many things. I would have said the movie itself was decent. But because of all the missteps and stuff that they didn't have to retcon or change, I have to say it was trash. Go ahead, K-Ball.
So, again, my point about the movie, that it wasn't the worst movie. I didn't think it was that great myself. I thought it was an okay movie. I wasn't blown away by anything. I wasn't blown away by the actress, but it was an enjoyable movie, and I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed my time watching it. It was an okay movie. Yeah, I mean, it had its issues, which I've actually talked about on the podcast. The issues that the movie actually had. Not podcast, sorry, in our conversation, that the issues, the movie had definitely issues, man. But I didn't think it was anything out of the realm that made the movie unwatchable or made it trash,
garbage.
But it had its issues. I had a problem with the comment, even his statement about her, and then how that messed up the comment about Thor, because he said that they created the Avengers because of Thor. Because of his power level, what he did when he came in, showing the world that they were ready for a higher power and whatever. That kind of makes that line a throwaway line now. But I mean, it had its issues.
Problems with the Tesseract, the timeline with the Tesseract.
Yeah, some timeline issues. I mean, it definitely had its failures. But looking at other stuff Marvel has done, it has its fair share of retcons too. Especially when you look at the fact that the glove, the gauntlet, was in Thor, the first Thor, and they had to retcon that out of there. That was definitely missed out. It was a misstep.
The fact that the name of the Avengers came, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but once you see this movie, like I said, the movie itself, I think is a little below decent, but all the other stuff that happened along the way in the movie, and the way they straight castrated Nick Fury in this movie, nah. Hold up, my daughter up here, she's sneaking on the steps. You can hear music. Hold up, y'all go ahead.
So yeah, I think to me it's a fair point for people to not like the movie. I think that's a fair point for people not to like the movie. It's a fair point for people to think the movie isn't that great. I mean, I don't disagree with that either. I have an issue with this, is that a lot of people, especially when it comes to these Super Marvel fans, they have an issue with Marvel movies just being okay. Like, you can have a just okay movie. It doesn't have to be the best thing since sliced bread. It doesn't have to blow your mind. It can be an okay movie. And I think sometimes we miss that, or we don't have that gratitude for the movies when it comes to that, especially when it comes to Marvel. So that's,
well, I think that if you when a movie is setting the table for the biggest movie in the entire franchise, you can't really lay an egg.
Thank you, D2K. I wish I could give you the prayer hands. Thank you. See, my problem with K-Bum, not Keith, K-Bum. I have a problem with K-Bum because I know he saw all the problems. If this was the DCEU, he would have pointed them all out. He would have put them on display. He would have put them on the plate. He would have chopped them up, dissected them, and pointed out why this is trash. But because it's the MCU and he loves the MCU and he's so excited for an Endgame, he's going to give this movie a pass when it does not deserve one. This is not Captain America. This you know, at the time Captain America came in, yes, Captain America, the movie wasn't good at all. It was a snooze fest. This movie messed up staple understandings in the MCU that it did not have to touch. Too many of them. They nuked and neutered and demasculated Nick Fury to a level that made no sense. The what's her name? Brie
Larson.
Brie Larson was a horrible actor, a horrible Captain Marvel. They just did so many things with this movie that made absolutely no sense when it comes to the MCU. They didn't have to do all that. They still could have had this movie. They didn't have to do all of those things. And that's why I say it's trash. Not because if it was standalone, it still wasn't a good movie. But I ain't going to sit up and say I was entirely bored through the whole movie. It's just as they kept stumbling and tearing up staple aspects of the MCU, I had a problem. They even turned the scrolls. They even jacked that up as a comic. You like, wait a minute, I thought they ain't even that. And all the different subliminal messages in this movie, man, it was just, to me, it was a trashy movie. It was just trash.
And things I want to say, because I think I am being wrongly characterized, the fact that I do enjoy a movie, is the fact that I would tear down just because it was DC. Now, I said the movie, I laughed at the movie, but the movie was a fine movie. I'll go mad. It was fine. It wasn't my best. I didn't enjoy it. It had its faults. But to think that I would tear down a movie just because it's not Marvel, come on, man. You gotta enjoy me.
I didn't say that. I said if it was the DC, you would have dissected
it. This movie, I left the movie theater saying, meh.
I left the movie upset. My wife didn't understand. The only reason we're
having this conversation is that I'm not joining hands with you and calling it trash. Not because I'm calling it good, because we have not joined hands and ran down the hallway and joined from the mountaintop screaming that the movie is trash. You have never heard me say this movie is a good movie. It's decent.
First of all, the picture of you and Levelhead joining hands and running down the hallway.
Bro, that's the whole point, man.
My thing is this, D2. My only thing is K-Bum won't even acknowledge some of the things I'm pointing out. That I'm like, dude, you can't, as a fan, you cannot overlook over these steps, these missteps, man. Like,
hey, what you been gaming on? Hey, what you been gaming on, man? Yo, Keith, what you
Anyway, well, let's get on past it since K-Bum don't want to give me my due. I'm just saying they messed up too many things that was already.
I told you I did give you some things they messed up. I agree with the Thor. I agree with
the timeline.
Yeah, the timeline is muddled. The Tazarek is muddled.
The cat.
The cat.
What's wrong with the cat?
Nick Fury. You don't have a problem. See, that's what me and you like. I let you slide on the other stuff. You won't even admit that they done Nick Fury dirty in this movie.
I don't agree. Now that I don't agree with. But
let's move on.
I don't understand how they do him dirty.
He's unwilling to be.
Keith don't agree. You know what? What you been gaming on? D2K. Let's get somebody in here that's gonna have a.
No, hold on.
Keith, you don't think they messed up Nick Fury?
How did they mess him up?
Do you remember the line that he originally said about how he got his eye, how he lost his eye?
Yeah. That's changed.
No, I'm asking. You don't.
I don't remember. I remember the cartoon.
No, in the movie, what movie was that? Was that Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier. Yeah. Winter Soldier.
He basically said that the reason why he lost his eye is because he trusted someone.
He trusted someone. Yep.
And then we saw. I didn't see it, but y'all saw it in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
How he lost his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was bad, man. Anyway, Keith, you don't believe that they done Nick Fury wrong.
He trusted the cat.
Right, man. Is your mic messed up, Keith? What's going on?
I mean, sir, that's your bum moment. A cat.
It was to me. It was so wrong.
Let's move on to Stadia.
Wrong that it was hilarious. That's what made it to me. It was so stupid that it was a cat that I was dying laughing.
Is the only one giving me something over here. Keep leaving me hanging. K-Bum just on some other stuff. I'm done. It's a great movie, y'all. Go out there and don't even go on a $5. Make sure you go pay full price for it. It's a great movie. Let's go. So anyway,
people don't watch this podcast. Skip the first 15 minutes. Lord have mercy.
What you been gaming on? Let's go with Keith Norris. What you been gaming on, bro?
Man, this is hilarious.
Shoot, nothing.
Mr. Keith.
Can y'all hear me?
I think he had mic problems. That's probably what's going on.
Am I having?
Go ahead, K-Bum.
No, I can hear Keith. I heard him fine.
I can hear him.
I can't hear him for whatever reason.
Yeah, Keith, I heard you fine, bro.
Oh man,
well, go ahead. I can't hear him.
He don't turn me off.
I'll let you know level when he's done talking. How about that?
All right.
That one don't turn me off, man. I don't disagree with him too much. No, I ain't been gaming on nothing.
I'm gonna jump out and come back in.
All right, that's cool. I guess I'll take that opportunity to talk about what I've been gaming on. So I guess recently I've been gaming on. Been playing the Division 2. I haven't really had too much time to play this week. Been got work stuff, so I have too much time to play games. But I did get just a little bit in of Division 2, and I mean it's cool. I'm not bored yet. It's not as bad as the beta was. To me, the beta was just a snooze fest. But I've been playing it. I mean, it's not as bad. It's cool. I'm not getting involved in the story because I know that's not what the game is really about. But I'm not getting as involved as I was last time. So, I mean, it's cool. I'm still not blown away by the Division. I just don't. The whole looting game system and the way it plays, I'm just not blown away by it. But I will play it. So I got buddies that play it. So I've been playing that and still playing Apex Legends. I think that game is still fun to me. Even I know we had a conversation about it. Even going solo queue, I still think it's a fun game. So I enjoy that. And I think I've been playing Magic on my computer. So I probably spend a good amount of time playing that. I played that more this week than I have my PlayStation, to be honest with you. So yeah, that's what I've been gaming on.
Okay. Say something, Keith, see if I can hear you now.
What's up?
All right, I can hear you now. Yeah.
We back. We friends again.
You ain't have a problem with Nick Fury?
Still got a problem?
I'm just messing. No, I'm joking. Go ahead, D2. What you been gaming on, bro?
Nothing at all. I started a new job this week, so I've been very, very tired and I haven't had a chance to game on anything. So,
okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, homie.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You've been playing that life.
Yeah. Hopefully I can start winning it. Stop laying on the revenge square all the time.
So I got a little gaming in. I went out and bought Starlink. They had it on sale for basically you can get the bundle with the toy or whatever that what do you call those things? Where you
games to life? I don't know. I mean, okay, Toys to Life.
Toys to Life, yeah. So I got the Fox version and bought it. They had it on sale for $30, and I got a free character with it. So I literally got 3 different pilots. I don't know the name of them outside of Fox, so don't ask me. And I really didn't use it. I just bought it to get the game. So I actually tried it out earlier today just so I can say what it felt like to utilize the toys to life. And I'm going to say it's doing too much. And I think it's doing too much. Like, well, I just think it's not. I mean, it's cool to see if you take off a particular weapon and put on another weapon that it literally shows it in the game. Like it changes. If I take out a pilot and put in another pilot, there's a little introduction screen where the person shows up and goes through this pose, and then you jump back into the game. It's pretty dope, but it's pointless. I wouldn't even remotely think to do none of this if I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't want to do that. It literally is for kids. Only group I see would like to do that is maybe someone 7 or 8 years old. Me, just give me the gamepad. I mean the Pro controller or Xbox controller or PlayStation controller and move out the way. And I can change it by pushing and going into the menu and picking whatever weapon I think is better that way anyway. I'm losing stuff on my couch. I had to go through the side of the couch to find the character to put them back in. I'm like, I ain't got time to keep up with all this stuff. So, but the game is highly impressive. I know I saw the visuals, but to see the visuals in person and see that they actually pulled this off on the Switch, not to say that the game couldn't run on. So I'm saying the level of quality of the game on the Switch is highly impressive to me. It really makes me wonder why, how is third party and other companies able to get this quality out of the Switch, and we haven't seen this level of quality far as just realism from Nintendo yet. I'm curious. That's why I'm curious to see what Metroid Prime 4 is going to look like. But it's fun. It's I wouldn't say it play like Star Fox. Hold up, where is that coming from? I wouldn't say it plays like Star Fox, but at the same time, it is good. I do like the seamless transition. Like you can literally, this was dope to me. I don't know if how Keith feel about it. You can literally fly out of the atmosphere into space and a seamless transition, and you can turn back around and fly back into the planet, and it's just seamless, and it's dope how they do it.
And see, that type of thing makes me upset about Star Wars Battlefront, because that was something that people wanted for years. And not only did you not get that with the EA version of Battlefront, they've made it worse to where you had to go to a cutscene when you're getting in and out of vehicles. So,
dude, what?
Like in not Battlefront 2, but Battlefront, the first Battlefront that EA did, when you went into a vehicle, you didn't just jump in the vehicle and take off. It went to a cut. It was like it would cut, and then you'd be inside the vehicle flying already.
Wow.
So
that's corny.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But this company is showing you that you can not only do it the right way, but you can fly from the ground into outer space and back. Seamless. It's all about the want to of the developers and the imagination of the developers. And when you're trying to put a stamp out there, that's what happens. You see people do amazing stuff, and then other people see that and they want to copy off of it after the fact. But I'm glad they're able to pull this off, because now people don't have excuses for not doing it from this game. This going forward for any kind of space game. Now you got to do it.
Yeah, it's dope. Let me send a shout out to Tiger King. What's up, bro? And we have Lurking Ghoul in the building. What's up, fellas? Go ahead and finish your point, D2.
I was finished.
Oh, okay. But yeah, to me, that's dope. The environments is dope. The voice acting, to hear Fox, McCloud talking and the whole team talking. I mean, I'm talking about full out dialogue, acted out dialogue, cutscene. It was pretty dope to me. And to me, it says that, man, there's so much more that can be done with Star Fox. I feel like if this game had more of a Star Fox, like how the ship controls in Star Fox, or how the air wing controls in Star Fox, I think this game would be ridiculous. It's not Star Fox in that sense, but it really does show what Nintendo could do and the possibilities. And it really does, to me, make Miyamoto have to eat crow and eat his own words when he said he couldn't figure out what else to do with Star. Like, clearly there's a lot more to do. And I'm enjoying the game. I played about an hour of it, and it's pretty cool. I mean, and I only paid $30 for it, so I can't complain. And I'm enjoying it. So that's about all the gaming I've done this week. Anybody else got any other game they want to talk about before we jump into the topics? Okay, then. So y'all gotta stop leaving me hanging like that. So let's get into these topics. Who all got a chance to see Google's press conference this past Tuesday?
I did.
I watched it.
Yep.
So outside of K-Bomb, who actually enjoyed it? No, this one I'm messing with. So let's get into this, man. So Google announced their entry into the gaming arena with Stadia. Stadia is how would you explain it? Who want to take this over?
I don't mind.
Streaming service. Yeah, keep on going because you've been highly delighted about this. Go ahead.
No, it's just yeah, Stadium is a cloud streaming gaming platform. It's not really just service. It's an entire platform, and I think that's when I think about it. To me, that's one of the best part of the fact that it's an entire platform, and so the thing about Stadia and what it came in is that the fact that this thing is pretty much came out of nowhere. No one saw this coming. No one has really been talking about. Even when when Google made that announcement a day or so ago about jumping into the gaming industry, no one really thought that this is what this is exactly what they were going to do. They thought maybe like a device, maybe like how Steam did the little Steam box, or maybe how Atari kind of did their thing, but an entire platform. I mean, that's something different. I know something I didn't see coming, and so the fact that they made this announcement and they make these bold claims. I think that's one of the biggest things people had issue with was the bold claims they were making about their system and what it can do. So I mean, I'm pretty ecstatic to see how much of that is going to be true, how much that is them just blowing smoke. But what have they really been able to do with this system and so on and so on? So, I mean, it's very similar to what Microsoft has already stated that they can do. But it's different because it's a lot of the things that's integrated in this that is very unique for what it is, and no one else is really doing these type of things. So, you want me to lead into a conversation? What did you have? You wanted to actually?
Yeah, no, I'm just giving your thoughts on it. Like,
I'll just give my thoughts about it. I'm kind of leading about what it is, and
you kind of describe what it is, and now I want you to give your personal thoughts. Like, the first question is, are you a believer? Do you believe what you saw Tuesday? All right.
So this is a loaded question. So do I believe? I'll just say, do I believe? Okay, so no, I don't believe in everything I saw yet. I don't believe they fully have the infrastructure. I don't believe they've mastered the ability to cut down the time, the input lag, and the latency. I don't think they've done all that yet. I think it's still going to have right now. It still has issues, and so on and so on. But what I am excited about is the potential, the potential of what this can do. Because right now, I think there's too many hurdles right now, and they're trying to work it all out. And I think that was clear in some of the demos you actually saw when people were playing the game. But do I believe that they can do what they say they can do when the launch comes out? And I do have to say yes. I do believe some of the claims that they made, some of the claims they say they can do, that they can resolve and they can solve those problems before they go live. Once the system is out, I'm guessing October, late October, early November, if so. I believe they can resolve some of those issues because I don't think they will put this much money, this much effort because they're creating their own game studio. That's not something you don't do that if you don't have confidence in what you can do. And
Right.
so I am optimistic about this, about what this is actually going to do. I'm optimistic on their claims and what they can do. The fact that they created a controller to even minimize lag even more, their own controller that connects not to the system that you're playing with, that connects to the Wi-Fi. Like so now you invest in the technology that I have never heard of a controller that does that. I don't know if you have, if this is old news to you guys, and I'm just finding out, but I've never heard of a joystick that connects to Wi-Fi and connects to directly to a session of a game in a cloud. I've never heard that before. But the fact that they gone out, did the patent, went out there, created their own controller that even lessens latency, and the fact that they have the whole game studio behind it, and they had some big names on that stage, big names of gaming on that stage, with Phil Harrison and Jay Raymond, that they sound like they're serious, and so I believe these claims to be serious. I don't believe they can't do it now. I don't believe that at all. But when launch comes, hey, I got faith, I got some faith in them. Yeah, that's my stance. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Keith, give your thoughts. Do you believe? Are you skeptical? Give me your thoughts.
I believe, because I could be skeptical. I could be skeptical of anything. I skeptical about the Switch when it came out. But I'm gonna say this is gonna be something awesome. My only reservations is Google themselves. Y'all know how I feel about Google. They put it out there half baked and won't really follow up. And it'd be like, dude, you had it and you didn't kind of like Nintendo sometimes. If I could be honest. But
Right.
no, I think this is awesome. I think this is going to definitely change the way we think about games in a good way. I know there are a lot of people who don't have the necessary capability as far as like types of internet and stuff like that to run something like this. But I think this is perfect. And I think it's perfect time. And even though a lot of people say we don't have the infrastructure, but I think it's perfect time just to go ahead and get it started, get it out there, because it's never going to be perfect. So I like it. Like K-Bone was saying, the controller connects to Wi-Fi, which tries to eliminate some of that latency. Of course, I think Digital Foundry put out a video and they showed that had a lot of latency, but it was definitely improved from when they first saw it. So I got faith in this. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to change the way people want to play their games. Like I was saying in the chat earlier, you got PlayStation, who is very traditional, and then you got in the middle, you're going to have Microsoft and you have Nintendo, who are doing like kind of traditional but not really traditional, and then you got Google on the other end of the spectrum. So again, nobody's without. Everybody's going to have an option. So all the salt and the tears and stuff about this, they can just dry that up. There's no point. If this is not for you, it's just not for you. If you can't get down with the streaming online all the time, it don't do it. There's
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into the salt. Let me send a shout out to Cornelius. What's up, Cornelius? Welcome to the show. D2K.
I did want to add one more piece for a D2K go. I want to clear it up about the Digital Foundry. What they actually said was that when they actually did the math and took in screen lag and everything like that, that it was not too far off from playing an Xbox game on an Xbox X. So it wasn't too far off. So if they can reproduce those numbers on a constant scale, then this thing does look like it could be a possibility. But I've heard contrasting results from the floor of GDC, and so we can talk about that a little bit later, though. But go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
we're
ahead,
gonna get into it. All right, D2K, give me your initial thoughts. Do you believe? Are you still on the fence? Like, what's your thoughts?
I'm not skeptical at all because Google is a multi-billion-dollar conglomeration. They wouldn't be investing as much time and money into this if they didn't think it was going to work because their reputation is on the line. Because, like what Keith just said, they don't have the strongest reputation of following through with a lot of their products. So when you invest this much and you make such a loud noise in the room to where everybody's looking at you and everybody's watching you, you don't really have a choice but to succeed. And there really is no time limit on this because, for one, this is their first venture into the gaming industry in this manner. And because they are not known for being a gaming company, they do have basically a mulligan, account. They can make some mistakes. And people say, well, okay, Google, they can screw up a little bit because they're not used to this. They're not Microsoft, they're not Sony, they're not Nintendo. So we'll let them have that. I think that based off of what Phil Spencer said about Stadia, to me, kind of validated how serious this is because he didn't dismiss anything about it at all. He didn't poo-poo it. He basically said, yeah, this is legit. This is precisely what he said. He said, we just wrapped up watching the Google announcement of Stadia as a team here at GDC. Their announcement is validation of the path we embarked on 2 years ago. So they're basically saying that, hey, we're serious about this. They're serious about this. He went on to say, today we saw a big tech competitor enter the gaming market and frame the necessary ingredients for success as content, community, and cloud. So, again, Microsoft is letting you know that this is where gaming is going. So don't be surprised when we come out and do the same thing, because he went on to say there were no big surprises in their announcement, although I was impressed with their leverage of YouTube and the use of Google Assistant and the new Wi-Fi controller. So, again, he's saying, hey, this is where gaming is going. And we knew this is where gaming was going. This is why we're going to be doing it too. And we're going to do the same thing at E3. So this is real, folks. This is real. This is not pie in the sky talk anymore. This is not, campfire talk or just, this is real deal stuff. This is the future of gaming. It's here.
Okay. I'm going to say I believe it. I'm still waiting to see more. Am I ready to jump in and buy it right now? No, but I was highly impressed with what I saw Tuesday. I was highly impressed with everything. And yes, I believe it. I believe what D2K just said. And there was some stuff that I saw today and a few podcasts that I listened today that basically is echoing everything D2K just said. We was kind of speculating, what does this do for the big three? We can go here next. But I'm really going to change that to what does this do to the other two? Because Microsoft, I don't think Microsoft is going to be affected because they are already doing it. They have already proactively began to make moves to this place. So if Stadia was to take off, it's going to be taken off alongside with whatever Microsoft is doing. And they said that Microsoft has a huge announcement that's coming. And I believe that's why we're seeing a lot of the stuff we're seeing when we go get into our conversation next with Nintendo. I think that's why you're seeing the relationship that you're seeing, because what we saw with Google with Stadia Anywhere, I think that's what Microsoft is looking to do. So I believe it. Now, the latency and, the different environments that this is going to be utilized in, like my house and other folks, that to me, that's where the issue is going to be. Also, a completely online gaming structure where you got to have online. Those aspects are not really having full control or ownership of the content that you're playing, like you don't really own none of it. Those are my concerns. But as far as the tech and as far as what they showed, I believe it, man. It was impressive. And I'm sitting here like, I really could not do nothing. Me and K-Bum talked for how long did we talk, dude? A good hour or so.
Yeah, for a good hour, man.
Like, because I really was blown away by what Google showed. And it really, literally just strong on the gaming industry to a path that I honestly don't think we was thinking we was finna go yet. They just said, no, I'm just going to pick you up and put you. They picked us up and literally put us on another track. It's like, okay, y'all don't want to go. Microsoft finna show y'all this. We just going to go on here. And what D2K said, they got, and this is what I thought about. Google has the money. That's what Microsoft has had all this time to make Xbox what it is. They have the money. Sony has the money. So they had the money. Sony had the money. Let me change that. No shade, but they had the money. But Google and Microsoft have that long money, that long money. They can throw a lot at this and make it work. They can force it to work. Whereas companies like Sega, and I would say Nintendo has standing the test of time because they ain't in the same wheelhouse when it comes to long money like these other companies. So yes, I believe it's gonna work. I believe they get, like D2K said, he made a point that I didn't even think about. You're not gonna make this loud of a noise without believing and willing to put the money behind your bark. They believe in this thing and they got the money to make it a reality. And the fact that they tested it already and we didn't even know this is what they was testing, and people already have experienced it under a whole nother name. It's here. We here, folks. That's bottom line. We are here. Go ahead. Anybody want to take
was it called Project Stream?
I can't remember. I know Assassin's Creed Odyssey was one of the games that they were utilizing to test it out and send it to folks.
Yeah. It was called Project Screen.
Okay. Go ahead. Who K-Bomb D2? I'm gonna run upstairs real quick. Go ahead.
Oh, my fault. I was on mute, my bad.
Okay.
I mean, what I love about this announcement, and one of the things that me and Level talked about when we were on the phone for like an hour, one of the things that we talked about, I think Level kind of talked about this last week, and he talked about disruption. He's talking about someone coming into the game, coming to the industry, and just causing chaos. And I know he, as being the Nintendo head he is, I can say that he's not right here, but I know he loves to give Nintendo the credit in that space as coming in there and just causing chaos and doing something different than everyone else is doing, and just causing waves. And to me, this is exactly a prime example of what that actually looks like. We were talking about before this decision, this press conference, we would have never had a conversation or even a thought about what would gaming look like without the big three. That would have never even been a conversation, is what would gaming look like without the big three. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but this Google has shown us a possible future of gaming without the big three. And to me, that's mind-blowing that they can even come on the scene as quickly as they did and give us something of that magnitude.
Well, I'll say it will be a reality if they don't adapt. If
right.
Sony and Nintendo, if this is the way we're actually going, but if Sony and Nintendo don't want to play ball and everybody's enjoying, hey man, I'm just gonna come home and play my game. It's instant. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to load up anything. I don't have to buy all this PC tech. I don't have to buy all this equipment. and all I can do is just play games because that's all I really want to do, and I can just cut out the middleman, they will be gone.
Yeah, I mean, if Nintendo doesn't partner up with somebody or try to do something similar to this, they're in serious trouble.
You think
Very serious trouble.
I'm saying you think so. Why? So why you feel that?
Well, outside of the fact of playing Nintendo games, because you can't play them on any other console, you can't play them on Stadia or the Xbox or PlayStation.
True.
You know, other than
Well, don't say Xbox yet.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that you
as of right now,
and you know, obviously, yeah, you play it on mobile devices and stuff, but you know, fundamentally, you buy Nintendo consoles, play Nintendo games.
Exactly.
But the whole selling point of the Switch was portability. The whole point of the Switch is having that option of being able to play your game on the TV, take it out of the dock, and keep playing it where you're going, and then come back home, put it back in the dock, and keep on playing, and it would be completely seamless. Stadia stomped all over that.
True.
Now,
True.
if it works,
if
it works, that made the Switch 100% superfluous unless you want to play Nintendo first-party games.
I wish I had sirens because I'll be like, I would set that off because we just hit the D2K word of the day. I don't know. You ever watch? What's that? Beakman's World. You ever watch Beakman's World back in the day? When the word of the day will pop off. That's what you just gave me. Thank you, D2K. I appreciate that. Man.
Somebody in the comment section asked for that, so I just had to throw that in there.
But you know what, D2K, you bring up a really good point though. Like, have you ever considered a world where exclusives don't matter?
When exclusives don't matter, wow.
or they're not as important as they used to be.
Well, it depends. I mean, but the third party's got to step up their game in order for that to happen. Because you know, as good as some of these third parties are, I mean, are they better than Naughty Dog? Are they better than Nintendo EAD? Are they better than the Coalition? Or you know, they're definitely better than 343. But you know, I mean, all the first party studios from Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, you know, they're still going to be top notch. So it's going to be hard for third parties to push them out of the way, even if they have a bigger footprint because of something like Stadia and what Microsoft is doing. And because of the way they're setting Stadia up, it'll be easier for them to develop games and share games and get things done quicker. But, you know, quality will always trump quantity.
Right.
Okay.
So what was I kind of came in on the end of what was being said at D2K. What was y'all talking about?
Somehow he found a way to say Nintendo was trash. No, I'm just playing.
That's funny.
No, I basically was saying that, you know, I said that Nintendo, if this is true, if this actually works with Stadia and with whatever Microsoft is doing, and Nintendo doesn't partner with either one of them or somebody else that's doing something similar, they're in serious trouble. Because if you don't own a Switch, or if you own the Switch and you basically, if I don't own a Switch, but I'm looking to play games on the go to get that Switch experience, now Stadia basically says, we're giving you that experience and way more. So that's why Nintendo has to say, okay, we got to learn to play ball with somebody here, because we don't, like Keith was saying, it's real easy to get swept away and lost in the shuffle. And it's not unprecedented for a new company to just bust up on the scene and start just take over the whole industry, because that's what Sony did in 1995.
That's true.
We've seen it happen before.
Yeah, this you know, my word the last few podcasts has been disruption, and this is definitely a disruption.
You'll be proud. I did just bring that up, so you'll be proud.
Okay, I would say, if I'm gonna put this on, if everything pans out, and if the gaming space, the gamers if we buy in, I'm with you. If we buy in and we begin to desire this from the other three or the other two, Sony and Nintendo, that, like I said, I think Microsoft is already doing it. I feel like the tech is there. Ain't no argument is there. It might not be perfected yet. It might be a few years before this is actually perfected. But we are here. It ain't no when are we going to get here? We are here, folks. It's here. The ship has landed. Aliens stepped off the ship. Hey, hi. That's where we at, folks. So the question is, when will it be perfected to where it's comparable to the experience we have, what K-Bum was saying earlier, the experience we have now with PlayStations, Switches, Xbox, PC.
I don't think it has to be perfected. Yeah, I just think it has to work and it has to make sense pricing wise, whether it's subscription or whether you're buying games. All of it has to make sense for you to buy in. If you're able to play online gaming, multiplayers, and all of that good stuff, if you're able to do everything you're doing, and it may just be a little bit off, I think we can
That's
roll
what
with
I'm saying.
that.
I know, but I'm saying right now what we've been hearing, I think K-Bum kind of alluded to it from the floor. A lot of folks saying is jittery, is a lot of latency. Not a lot, but more than you would want in your game experience.
It's noticeable.
Yeah, it's noticeable. So to me, that coupled with must-have online, coupled with net neutrality being taken away. So just imagine you playing these games, folks, bills gonna be high if you ain't in an area where you ain't got free unlimited internet. I can only imagine some places where like one of my boys, he live, I think in Nashville, they don't have unlimited internet. They got so many gigs. So what about them? If you're an avid gamer, that's going to affect you. See what I'm saying? So
people have data caps. You know, they're going to be really. This is going to work for them.
That's why I said that the traditional consoles will still exist. You'll still have your PlayStation, and that's why Microsoft isn't going all the way in.
Right. I was just about to say and that's going to be their play at E3 to say, yeah, we'll give you everything that Stadia is giving you, but if the internet goes out or you can't pay your internet bill this year or this month, you still can play our games.
And that's why I don't believe. And that's why I was going to say I don't think Nintendo at this moment and maybe a few years into this really has anything to worry about. But as the industry begin to transition fully to this place, which I think it will eventually, just like music and like movies now. Movies ain't quite there yet, but if you walk into the Best Buys and these other places, the movie sections ain't as big as they used to be. I don't know if y'all noticed that. Like, this stuff you're not seeing, you don't see, like, I think the only one we got here is Family Video. All the other video stores is gone. Walmart has shrunk their DVD section, their music section. The only section that still is kind of growing and getting bigger is the gaming section. So as streaming is taking over all the other forms of media, we have to use that as a template, as an example of what's possibly going to happen as this begins to be introduced into the gaming spectrum. It's going to eventually get to where media and physical is going to shrink. So until that point starts happening, I don't think Nintendo and even Sony has everything to worry about. But Nintendo and Sony can't sit down on they do nothing and not, like D2K is saying, start to make preparations for the inevitable and begin to make partnership, which I believe might be already happening with Nintendo and Microsoft, which now the question is what's going on with. So I think that's what's happening with Nintendo and Microsoft. I think we're going to get they streaming ability to stream Microsoft stuff on the Switch. I think that's going to happen. I mean, that's my
well,
belief.
As far as Sony goes, either Sony already has an answer for this, and they're basically just sitting back saying, yeah, Stadia, go ahead. That's nice. Yeah, we got something for that. Or they were completely blindsided by this, and they don't know what to do next.
I don't think they got no answer for this. I really don't.
I don't think they need one. What just happened? I don't think they need an answer. I think they need to just come out with their traditional console and wait it out, and then do a mid-gen change up. Not even gonna say a refresh, just change it up. But definitely, like Level was saying, Nintendo, Sony, they can't just sit around and do nothing. But definitely have that option for people. Because I know a girl right now. I was talking to her today online. She was a huge PlayStation gamer, and then she became a Xbox gamer. And she was like, where she stays, the internet is trash. She barely can watch Netflix. So for her and her husband, they gotta have traditional consoles. So I think Sony just play the game that you normally been playing, make the exclusives that you've been doing, just keep that tradition going up, and then the PlayStation 6 then change it up. Once you realize that everything is working, this is the shift, and people want those Sony games like this, then you can give it to them. But I say just keep playing the field and watching it, because at this point, Sony, they still don't have to do anything, unfortunately.
Well, I agree and I disagree with that, because if you look at some of these, you look at retail, a lot of these brick and mortar stores, these companies and corporations that have been around for our entire lives are starting to go out of business left and right. Toys R Us go out of business, Radio Shack going out of business, Bon-Ton stores going out of business, Payless Shoes going out of business, and other stuff like that, because these companies did not change with the times, and it waited too late, like Blockbuster and it's like let's talk about the video stores. They waited too late. They looked at stuff like Netflix is, that'll never work, that'll never fly. Now look at it. Right. So they can't wait until it's that whole pond dries up and say, okay, we'll start doing streaming now. They got to jump in the pool now.
Well, I think they can get their feet wet, kind of like what they did. Let's go back to something they already did with the PlayStation Network. I think it's PlayStation Network? Where they
PlayStation Now.
PlayStation Now.
Not now.
PlayStation Now.
Not the Now, but when they offered the network, then they made it mandatory on the PlayStation 4. Was it called PlayStation Network?
Yeah, PSN. Yeah, it's PlayStation Network. Yeah.
So they got their feet wet. So they didn't go all the way in until the next gen. That's what I was saying. Like, they can go give it a little bit, like a mid-gen, like, here, we offer this too, but we don't have the same infrastructure. And then next generation, we'll have the full thing. It's kind of half-baked, but it's kind of like you're not sitting around and you don't recognize that the industry is changing.
Well, if that's the case, and they should just go, if they already have the infrastructure in place, then they should just beef it up right now and let them, instead of waiting until afterwards, say, hey, we already got this.
I guarantee you this: we're not gonna see them jump in like they did with VR. I don't think they can. I'm serious. Like, when VR was being talked about as the next wave, Sony jumped and beat everybody to the punch, because I believe that's technology that they could work out and easily jump in and utilize for their benefit. I believe this is so large, you would have to be a Google or a Microsoft to pull it off. It's just too big. It's bigger than Sony. Sony couldn't do this. Sony couldn't do this, not for PlayStation. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the stuff set up to where they will literally have to create this from scratch and try to get it out in the capacity that Google and Microsoft is already out here. Everybody got some type of Microsoft computer device in their house where they can access Windows from it. Everybody, and then from that same device, you can get Google. See what I'm saying? Like, right. PlayStation, Sony has nothing like that. Nintendo has nothing like that. So the only thing I can see them doing is being one of the screens, one of the options for Google Stadia, one of the options for Microsoft, and I believe that's what Microsoft is going to leverage. Look, this is where gaming is going. Y'all can maintain y'all independence as box-making developers, first-party content, but if you want to be a part of this next wave, let us be your door into that, so we can topple Google and Stadia. That's what I see happen. I'm seeing the big three looking at this situation like, if we want to maintain the status quo, we want to stay the big three, we gonna have to come together and form Voltron because they gonna if we don't Stadia, like I said, Google has played like really done this quietly. They have infiltrated everything. They done it under the scene. They sold at a major place to where only companies like Amazon and Microsoft can really compete with them. Nintendo and Sony can't. If the templates change and the set box is not the focal point, Nintendo and Sony can't compete with that. And I don't care what Sony thinks they can do, they can't. Nintendo can't. So the best move is to partner and allow the new wave to be a part of your gaming platform. Meaning you can access this just like Netflix is on Nintendo. They should have an app and have an exclusive deal with Microsoft. And if you want to stream, I believe that'll be the smartest move for Nintendo. Microsoft, we gonna partner with you. We gonna let you give us that cloud-based service or that cloud-based gaming, and then we can still be the physical in your hand company that we always been. Because people gonna want that. I don't think that'll ever leave. But as the technology improves and every household's Wi-Fi capabilities improve, eventually we'll get to a place where this is not a problem anymore. Right now it is, and I think Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft would be wise to team up with each other, Sony and Nintendo to Microsoft, and or Sony to Google, and let Google some kind of way partner with Google, like something. They got to do something. I think Nintendo is doing it with Microsoft. I think that's what's happening. Any final? Let's get to this last thought on this. The salt. Unless somebody got something they want to add, K-Bomb, whoever.
No, player. Go ahead, man.
Okay, did that make sense? What I said? I don't want to be sitting up and sounding.
No. It's straight. I mean, I think the point of them creating Voltron is definitely a valid point, and I think you're seeing a mini Voltron being created now.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on with Nintendo and Microsoft. Like,
yep.
I think the writing is on the wall. I'm pretty sure they probably already been hearing the rummaging of Google Stadia. They probably heard about it through their spies and leaks, and they like, bro, this is happening. And I know Nintendo is not set up to take on nothing like that, and I don't think Sony is. I think only one is Microsoft. But the salt, and then we move to Nintendo and the salt. The question to me that I have for you guys is, was the salt justified? Now, there's a lot of different YouTubers that jumped out with videos condemning, throwing shade, and all I saw was fear. Mm-hmm. All I saw was fear of their norm being turned upside down. And it was something Mr. T said that I want to give him credit, because it was I said what I said, but then I saw his post. I had to thumb it up, and I think even K-Bum, you thumbed it up.
Yeah. He was spot on.
He was like, yeah, he was spot on. He said, it might not be for me. It might not be nothing I'm looking at, but I still don't see the point of being upset. I'm paraphrasing what he said. I don't see the point of being upset and throwing shade at it. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you, and just move on. Why hate on it? And I agree with the sentiments. Like, what's the point in hating on something because it wasn't your company of preference that was on stage presenting it? What's the point of hating on something? All you doing is showing your fear. And if you are scared, why? You have no stake in these companies.
Unless you got some stock in there, then I can understand a little bit. You worry about your little $200 stock. I got you.
Go ahead, take over.
No, I mean, was the salt justified? That's the point you were trying to get.
Yeah.
And I would say the salt is absolutely justified if you're a scared little punk. Um, man, come on, man. We're consumers, man. We're consumers that deserve options. It, Stadia, it doesn't mean that Stadia comes out in October or whatever, and then everybody else goes away. That they're not taking away your physical games. They're not taking away your ability to play what you want to play. They're not telling you the only way you can play video games is online. I mean, so calm down. Uh, a point I wanted to give was this: we still have right. Um, we the majority of our music now is consumed by streaming. The majority of our TV watching, for the most part, is consumed by some type of streaming. Do we still have physical movies? Do we still have CDs out there? Do we still have MP3s we can buy? Your physical and digital ownership has not been taken away from you. It's not gone. Netflix has not walked to your house and taken all your movies. So this fear of this streaming revolution and how I'm not going to be able to own my own games anymore. Come on, man. There will always be options. Options. And I am for one excited for this option because this I've never seen a company outside of gaming walk into gaming and paint a picture of the future that I was like, I want to be in that future. And that's exactly what they did. They painted this picture of the future that was unlike anything that the other three have painted. And I kind of look back at the other three like, why couldn't you guys do this? Uh, so the salt to me is unjustified, man. It's ridiculous. And people are always trying to find a fault in something just to say they found a fault in something. Let's be optimistic. My thing was this: let's let them fail. Give them an opportunity. Don't kill it before it fails. Give them an opportunity to fail. Don't fail it for them. Give them a chance.
I agree. I think people fear change, man. They fear change. That's all there is to it. Go ahead, Keith or D2.
I think a little bit of this is, man, I can't root for Nintendo or Microsoft or Sony no more. I want to keep talking about Sony is trash. I want to keep talking about Microsoft is trash. Man, wait, I can play. It doesn't matter who the company is anymore. Wait, I gotta let go of my allegiance, and they don't even know who I am. I think that's what it is. It's like, dude. Like, I love Nintendo. I love their games. I love the champion their games. But come on, let's keep it real. Everybody is doing great things out here. Even I could talk about Microsoft doing great things, even if they don't have the games that I want to play. And I just think that's what it is. People don't want to give up what they've been hanging on to. Especially if you're a YouTuber. You don't want to give up all those years of champion this, and now you got to switch gears and be neutral to a certain degree. Like, dude, it's okay, man. Like K-Bone was saying, man, it's options. If you don't, if you can't physically do this, you just can't do it. If you don't want to do it, guess what? You don't have to. I mean, like you said, and what you were saying, K-Bone, was it reminded me of there's this black-owned business in where I stay, and it's like, dude, everybody's slamming them because they had bad this, bad that, or whatever. It's like, dude, give them a chance to fail. They haven't failed yet. Give them the chance. You know, if they don't, if it don't work, it just don't work. But don't try to destroy them right out the gate. Right. It's like, don't try to destroy this, what Google is trying to do, trying to push the gaming industry forward for you, for your benefit, and you're trying to kill them already because it's not what you're used to. There's a lot of things on your current console that you weren't used to, that you accept and you love it now. Side note, I'm watching IGN's thing on Cuphead. I know we're finna get to that. They got achievements, but anyways,
we did. Yeah, go ahead, D2. I want to jump in before you get your thoughts out.
They pretty much said everything. People are upset because they can't fanboy out as much as they could anymore. You're still gonna find a way to try, but it's not gonna be as convenient as it's been in the past because. I mean, you never look really stupid out there, especially if you're one of the two that's not involved in any of this. I mean, I could see how Microsoft fanboys stand up pounding their chest like, yeah, you know, we can go toe to toe with Google, and the brand new Google fanboys will be, you know, touting that. But the Microsoft, I mean, but the Nintendo and Sony fanboys were like, what do we do now?
PlayStation. But we got PlayStation. But we got PlayStation now, though.
The truth is, here's the truth. They were impressed by what they saw.
Oh,
that's the truth. Everyone you heard crying, it was because you couldn't deny what you saw, and you like what you saw, but it's so different, and it takes so much control out of your hands. That's the fear. Like, if it goes this way, I'm at the mercy of whomever. That's what the cry was about. Was it justified? If those would have been the arguments. But I heard one person arguing about the spacing of the buttons on the controller, on the Google controller.
Goodness sakes.
And I'm like, and the truth about the
in the very presentation, they said over and over, you can use whatever controller you want to use.
But
you
check
can
it
even
out.
you can even use, you know, if I guess, I don't know if it's Bluetooth they use or whatever, you can even use controllers from your preferred piece of plastic that you worship on Google Stadia.
Right. But check this out, D2. The person who was making this argument is an avid Joy-Con lover. So the counter was like, wait a minute, you love the Joy-Cons, and them buttons are really, 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 really close. This is basically par and par with traditional home console controllers. So if you making this argument, you just making a hypocritical argument because the controller that you love touting the most is closer. The buttons are even closer than this one.
I wouldn't even listen to somebody that opened the No,
yeah, it was stupid. It was just hypocritical. No one really had anything. I mean, I see some, like I brought up, latency in your situation with your Wi-Fi and, you know, internet service. These are real for real questions.
Right. Agreed.
But everything else, you couldn't deny what you saw. I ain't saying that I'm finna go out and, you know, when it come out, I'm finna jump on board. I need to hear more. I need to hear pricing. I need to hear all that. But what we saw,
I don't need much more. But yeah, go ahead.
But what we saw, you couldn't deny that it was impressive, and I feel like it literally shook the gaming world, and I feel like it caused us to pivot, and it's taking us off the course we've been on and forcing us down another path. And I think Microsoft was about to make the same move, but Google came in and just strong-armed it. Like, this is where we're going, and I'm gonna force y'all because I got the money to force y'all to go this way. So, but with that being said,
I think what Google did, they did a Kanye to their Taylor Swift. It said, hold on before I let you finish, Microsoft. Come check out this new Google.
Yeah, because I mean, that's all they talked about. I mean, so they, like D2K said, they really behind this. They not going to do that level of a presentation and invite everyone in to watch it if they ain't got the confidence and the reality that if they haven't worked it out to a place that they feel like they can do it. And so it's gonna be interesting. I'm interested. They got my ear. So I'm looking forward to more information. But let's move on. So Nintendo had their Nindy Spring Showcase, and the very first announcement was Cuphead is heading to the Switch. Now let me send a shout out to Dr. Trey, because he called this when Cuphead came to Microsoft. He said it's going to come to Switch. Mark my words. So his prediction is true. So I don't know who I started with last time. So I started with Keith Norris. When you saw that announcement, man, for Cuphead coming to the Switch, what was your thoughts?
Man, when I first saw the thing had opened, I was like, man, what they talking about? Why is this old dude over here talking about some milk? And then Cuphead, I was like, oh, snap. I was shocked. I was thoroughly shocked, down to my core. But it made sense. You know, some of the rumors that we were hearing about the Microsoft Xbox Live rather coming to the Switch, so it just made sense, and it seemed like such a befitting game to be on the Switch. I remember when the game came out, even before Trey had, like, I guess, put his tweet out there. It always seemed like it should have been on the Switch anyways, and we wanted it on the Switch. Like, oh man, I could be able to take this on the go. So now it's a reality, and it's pretty dope. And like I was saying about the achievements, I don't know if we want to go that far yet.
Go ahead. No.
How is that being registered? Is that going back to Xbox Live? Is it okay? So,
well, you know, Minecraft also has goes back to Xbox Live with the achievements.
I didn't know that. So my thing is this: so if I buy the game on Switch, will all of my progress still be there?
I think so. I think that you can. I think they said I think so. I don't want to go out and say full, but I think the progress that you have done on the Xbox version you could carry over to the Switch version. And back and forth. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comment section. I think I'm right on that. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think this is dope. I also heard some other rumors about some other stuff, but I ain't gonna get into all that.
And we'll get into it. D2K, what was your thoughts was you shocked to see Cuphead heading to the Switch?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't have anything to go ahead with.
You okay? Okay.
Don't really care. I mean, it's just another, instance that Microsoft is definitely lowering the walls down and letting their franchises out to other platforms and letting people know that they're serious about it. So, why not put that on the Switch? I mean, it's a game, like Keith said, it fits well on that form factor, being able to play a game like that on the go. So, it is what it is.
I don't think Microsoft actually owns it. I think Microsoft paid for, not necessarily, I don't know if it was launch exclusivity or what, but they don't technically own Cuphead. But they did play a part in helping Cuphead come to the Switch. That much is the case.
Well, if they don't own it, then what's the big deal then?
I think because people thought they owned it and thought it was exclusive. So that's the big, and people didn't think it was coming to the Switch. I think that's the big deal. K-Bum.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on it?
No, I thought it's pretty legit, man, that they actually would do that. Not that I think they have ownership, but I thought they had
publishing rights. Alice just said it.
There we
publishing
go.
rights,
and they have the right to say no. And so I was quite surprised that they would allow this to happen. I guess I would say, but it continues down the path of Xbox kind of, DTK was saying, letting down the reins and kind of letting these things out. It follows the same trend as Halo, what they did for that and allowing that to be on Steam. So there's a lot of partnerships going on with Xbox and them allowing some things
with Microsoft.
Microsoft
yeah.
that we wouldn't. That we wouldn't really say that, hey, that's a good choice, or hey, they should do that. And so, to me, I do think something's up with Xbox and Nintendo. I think there's something more to this.
You're dating.
Nintendo. I think there's definitely more that's gonna come out of this, and this is just one announcement that's going to be followed by many or several others.
Well, we've seen, and before you jump in here, Keith. Look at is it Hellblade?
Yes.
That's Microsoft. And it's not out yet, but that's coming to the Switch, and Microsoft had to sign off on that. So you've seen a lot.
They own that company now. Yeah.
Yeah, they own the company. So for it to come to the Switch, Microsoft played a part in that game. So you starting to see a pattern where Microsoft, like D2K said, is opening up and creating a relationship even down to marketing together, like doing marketing together, like that one with crossplay. They kind of teamed up.
Xbox, the green and the yellow Xbox.
Yeah. With it's like the Switch coming together, and they supposedly, and I think that's where you finna go, Keith. So I'll let you take over from here. There's rumored that there's even bigger announcements coming. Go ahead.
Yeah, I briefly saw it, so you'll probably have to take it back over. But no, I heard that there's bigger announcements such as Forza, and maybe even Gears, but they may be coming in the form of streaming to the Switch, which would be dope. And that's as far as I know. But my opinion on that is I welcome it. I welcome any new games that I can play on my Switch that's from a different publisher, such as Microsoft. And I just think, like D2K was saying, lowering those reins and allowing these things to happen, Microsoft is about making money. And if you don't see that, you're crazy. It ain't about fanboyism. They are about making money. But you can take it back over because that's all I had.
No, the game I was thinking of was Ori and the Blind Forest. Let me send a shout out to Alex.
Yeah, he did.
Welcome to the show. Now, he put it in the comment section, but that's the game I was talking about. At the same time that Cuphead was rumored to possibly come to the Switch, this game was also in that same rumor. So to see Cuphead show up and Cuphead was one of the other games announced that was named that was going to come to the Switch, people didn't believe. It makes this rumor that much more
valid.
And that is, if I'm not mistaken, that is a Microsoft title. So I believe that online server that Microsoft Live is going to be the big announcements for E3 for the Switch. I really do. I think there's more to this, and they just waited. And I think Microsoft is behind the scenes working out relationships, man. They because they got to put themselves in a different position because they can't win playing the game the way they've been playing it and playing the traditional game. I think they disrupting as well, and this partnership or whatever they got going on with Nintendo, and now putting Halo on Steam. Like, these are major, unexpected, never thought would happen moves, and they the ones having to sign off on it. So, what else we want to talk about? So, I guess the question I would ask: how close do you believe the relationship between Nintendo and Microsoft is, and what do you expect from it?
I'll start. First, I want to go back to something you just said about the disruption. I can see it as Google is disrupting the whole industry while Microsoft is disrupting your fanboyism.
What'd you say?
I said Microsoft is disrupting your fanboyism.
Mine?
No, not you. I'm just saying,
okay.
In people in general.
Okay, I got you. I was like, I thought I've been disrupting my own, but go ahead. Go ahead.
So what is the partnership between what I think the partnership?
How close do you think this? Like, how close are they getting? Like, where is this going?
I just think Nintendo's the first company on the list. I think Microsoft is just trying to open their doors, and one of the bigger, more closed-off companies that they could approach would be Nintendo. And if they can get them to open their doors, they can practically get anybody to open their doors to accept things that they're trying to do. So I think, like I said, this is the first company on their list. And I think Microsoft is just trying to go through the whole industry, and eventually they'll probably reach even Sony and form some type of relationship and a partnership, and just kind of like, yo, we're all about making money and all about trying to come together as gamers, and we need to end the fanboy war and just come together. So where does it go? It just going up.
K-Bomb.
I think it's pretty deep, man. I think that their relationship is going to continue to blossom. I'm excited. I wish they would have partnered up for Nintendo's Online. That probably been awesome earlier.
You knew he had to get that jab.
I'm sorry. I'm not the only one that thinks it's trash. So Somebody made a whole video about it.
I think what they
It's
offered.
It's on par with Captain Marvel.
Wow. So it's decent.
So
It's horrible.
So you're saying that Captain Marvel is the Nintendo Online of
service?
Marvel.
You dog
Service
right.
of Marvel.
Yes.
Oh,
Hold up.
man.
Welcome to the show, Blue Boat. Go ahead, Kevin.
No, that's all I can't talk no more. I'm done, man. I'm good, man. That's
Okay, D2.
What?
How deep do you feel like the relationship between these two companies is?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, to a certain extent, there's always kind of been a backlog relationship between Microsoft and Sony. With Nintendo's American headquarters being in Redmond, Washington, literally across the street from Microsoft. They've always been cordial with each other.
Hold up. You give out some details that I just be like, what did he do? Go ahead.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. You knew that, Keith?
Yeah, Nintendo America is right across the street from Microsoft.
Man, no, I ain't know that. News to my ears. Go
Redmond,
ahead, I'm listening.
Yep. I mean, we've seen Microsoft and Nintendo collaborate in the past with games. Like, well after Microsoft bought Rare from Nintendo, they still put a few Rare titles on the Nintendo DS back in the early 2000s. So it's happened in the past before. So it's not something that's new. And then you have Minecraft, obviously being on the Nintendo consoles and Sony, and Microsoft owns that. So I think that as far as specifically what's going on, like we talked about this before, that Microsoft could be using Nintendo as a backdoor outlet to get into the Eastern market, particularly Japan, because they literally only sell like 70 Xboxes a week over there. Right. And I'm not even exaggerating. That's exactly how much they sold last week, was 70. 70.
Right, I'm with you.
So that's one thing they probably. To me, for Microsoft, that's the only real. Well, that and maybe perhaps for Nintendo's perspective, maybe they can get their hands on some of those IP from Rare back over to Switch and maybe get their teams to develop some games properly on Nintendo Switch. You can get the Conquer, you can get the Banjo-Kazooie, you can get Jet Force Gemini and some other stuff that people loved on the N64. You can get those games on the Switch, where you have an audience that actually wants those games versus the Microsoft audience that really is not too interested into the Rare classic games like that. So it's a mutually beneficial partnership if it happens. We're not going to really know how deep it is until after E3. We can only speculate at this point.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I think I stated what I feel. I feel like this is turning into a real relationship. I feel like if anyone messes it up, it would probably be Nintendo. But I think with some of the faces and some of the names stepping down at Nintendo and new faces coming in, I think we gonna see a lot more of this. I think they understand what it's going to take. I think this new regime understands what it takes to really move Nintendo into a position that they stay thriving, not just find success here and there. And I think Microsoft somewhat is what D2K is saying, but I see Microsoft see multiple ways to make money. Like, we don't have to put all our focus on this box with the X in front of it. We literally have the infrastructure to make money anywhere. And I think they see it and they like, shoot, why are we holding it back to our own box? We can make money wherever we want to. So I think that's what they're doing. And I do think it is a backdoor into Japan as well. Getting in through Nintendo and Nintendo is basically dominating over there even more so than Sony. So I agree with you on that, D2K. But let's move on. I found this interesting. Nintendo allowed one of their cherished IPs to be utilized by indie developer. This is Candace of Hyrule, how you say it?
Cadence, I think.
Cadence of Hyrule. And
so.
it would have Link and Zelda in the game as playable characters. And it's developed by Indie Studio. What do y'all think about that? Was y'all shocked to see, because this is not developed by Nintendo. They are literally allowing them to use the license of the IPs. So, Keith, what you think about that?
I guess I didn't really understood how big this was until like I guess a few hours after it happened, and I saw people talking about, "Oh my god, an indie developer is using Nintendo license." Because even when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Man, that kind of looked like Zelda." And then the music, you could hear like chimes of the music, kind of like bleeping into the trailer. I think that's pretty dope. I would love to see some more partnerships where Nintendo kind of opens up their doors as well with some of their IPs, kind of like with Star Fox and Ubisoft. If it just makes sense, and I guess whatever this game is makes sense. But I hope it's like a step in a direction that I would love to see Nintendo going with some of their games.
Okay. D2.
Well, I didn't see what you were talking about, so
okay,
I can't really comment on that.
What about you, K-Bomb? I know you don't too much watch Nintendo stuff, but just in case you saw it, what was your thoughts?
Oh, what happened?
Oh, let's just move on. I'm gonna be honest. At this point in the Nindy showcase, I had dozed off.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
And the music from Zelda is what woke me up, and it was weird. I didn't know I had dozed off, but I heard that music. I was like, "Oh, that's Zelda." You know, I kept hearing it, like kind of what Keith was saying, and it kind of woke me up or brought me back to focusing on it because I literally went off into La La. And when I saw Zelda and Link, I was like, "What is this?" So that was surprising. I'm not gonna say it's nothing that I would, because I think it's a rhythm-based game. If I'm not mistaken, it's a rhythm-based game. So
is it?
I think so. I was listening to, I think Game Explained talk about it and how they was describing. I think it's a rhythm. It's somewhat like how you move is based on the rhythm of the music or something like that. Mm-hmm. I can't fully explain it. I don't want to butcher it. I could be totally off, but I think that's what I was. That's the understanding I left with it. It looks cool. It is pretty cool that Nintendo is lighting it up and allowing their IPs to be utilized by other companies, like letting Ubisoft make a game, and it was their idea, and giving them Mario to do it. Letting this indie studio make a game and utilizing Zelda and Link. I think it's really saying that we might see even more Zelda stuff at E3, Link stuff, Hyrule or whatever you want, Legend of Zelda content. I believe there's more to be revealed. For Nintendo to do that, that lets me know they probably got one more announcement with Zelda and Link in it. And I think that's what I saw. I'm like, okay, we got the remake of the title coming. Then this one, they got another game with Zelda in it. I'm curious if they're remaking one of the like a Majora's Mask or maybe even Ocarina of Time, or
I already did that.
I'm saying, but doing it again for like the Switch, doing it again with this level of capability. I see something like that coming down the pipe. But yeah, that was pretty cool. But overall, I thought the Nindy Direct was cool. There was towards the end it got boring, but it started off with a bang with the Cuphead. And some of those other titles they showed was pretty dope to me as well. On that, that's all I got. Anything else y'all want to talk about?
Actually, no. But just look, I'm looking at this trailer again. I think the Zelda stuff actually kind of turned me off a little bit, because when I was watching, I was like, "Yo, this kind of looks like Zelda." And then when I actually saw Link in it, I was like, "I'll play it," but I don't know. It just it got corny. But I'm looking at it again. This is my second viewing of it.
Yeah, like I said, if you look at how it moves, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Like
it ain't move. Yeah,
it ain't just you just go up and down. It's got a rhythm. There's a timing to it that I think is rhythm based, and that aspect of it kind of like I don't know if I'll be into that, but for those who would be into it, it looks cool. But man,
some musical turn,
right? So it's based off another title, but I don't follow it enough to really get into it. But yeah, like I said, Alex just said you have to move and attack to the beat of the music. So it's a rhythm-based game.
Okay.
But what is going on with Sony? K-Bun, why has Sony been so quiet?
Because they don't got Smash, bro. The only reason why Sony, well, not only reason, one of the reasons I think Sony can be so quiet is because Sony ain't got none right now. I mean, Sony's not even pumping up
Last of Us 2.
Days Gone. No. Days Gone, is that dropped yet? No, Days Gone hasn't dropped yet. That's not a mistake. I may be mistaken. Maybe it did drop and I just missed it. But still, even though it may have even dropped, let me check. They're still not pumping it up. I mean, you don't really see them talking about Days Gone. Nope. It drops in April 26th. Like, and you don't even see them pumping that up. I mean, that's just about a month away. And so I don't think it's because Sony has something big up their sleeve. I really don't. I mean, you're gonna hear something about the PlayStation 5, but they really don't need to even make that announcement this year. I just think Sony's just don't have nothing to say really. So
and they got this generation on lock.
Yeah, they got it on lock and get ready for the next one, and they don't really need to come up and make waves and make big announcements or talk about partnerships because
okay. Yeah, I did hear about that. I'm sorry, K.
Yeah, that is so. It's not a good thing in the news for Sony. It's actually a bad thing, which is allowing their Quantic games.
Yeah, I saw something on it. Yes. I didn't think about it. Thanks,
yes.
Alex. I wasn't thinking about this.
Go ahead. Yeah, I did hear about that. So what happened was Epic got the rights to the 3 Quantic game titles. Which is Heavy Rain. Was that Beyond Two Souls and Detroit, I believe, right? Yeah.
Detroit, so Too Human.
Yeah, Too Human. Yeah, and so they have. Remember that Too Human game that came on the Xbox? That terrible game. Remember that? Anyway, so that's
supposed to be a great GameCube game.
I remember that crap. It's supposed to be a trilogy too. And so they got the Epic Game Store, right? Has the exclusive rights to put it on PC. And so to me, I mean, that's surprising to me. What's most surprising is that everyone trashed these games. I don't know why they want to play them anyway, because everybody outside of Sony said it was trash, but, you know, to each their own. And so
trash until it ain't your exclusive no more. Then
trash until you play it.
Right.
But yeah, it's surprising that to me, it's surprising that Quantic game would be targeted by Epic, because it's not like they've made some bangers or some, you know, their games are very niche.
So this is Epic. They trying to compete with Steam, right? So
yeah.
What other moves? I'm reading in down. Tiger King said they also got the Outer Worlds. Also, is that how you said it? Outer World or Outer World? How you got?
I think it's Outer Worlds. I think it should be Outer
World. Okay. Might have misspelled it. But what's that? What game is that?
That used to be on. I thought that was on the GameCube, wasn't it? Outer.
I don't know. I'm not.
I know it was on Xbox. On Xbox, I think it was like a little creature.
Outer World. Okay, thanks.
In control. I forgot the creature what he looks like, but I thought it was on the GameCube at one point.
So Epic is making now. I was listening to Gamer Tag Radio today, and they kind of talked about this. So when Alex brought it up, it brought me back to what they were talking about. And I don't really stream a lot, or I don't do Steam and none of this, so that it didn't really a big deal to me. But are these moves that Epic are making Are they putting them in a better position than Valve?
Heck no. They're trying to compete. Is what they're trying to. They're the new kids on the block, so they're trying to buy up some exclusives so they can make people look at them and buy them. But I've also heard they've done some shady things as well. I actually talked to my a VR guy and how they've been doing some shady things as far as their exclusivities. So,
Okay.
One of the games being Metroid, the Metroid game, and how that game was supposed to come out on Steam. And what happened was, for those that pre-ordered the game have already bought the game, and they were going to get a Steam key so they can download it. But like a month or so before the game released, it was announced that it was going to be an Epic Store exclusive.
What game is this?
Metro.
The Metro.
Metro. You said Metro.
That's my fault. Metro game.
Okay.
And it became a PC Epic Store exclusive, and so people had to sign up through Epic to get their game that they pre-ordered. And there was another game that did the same thing where people had pre-ordered, but they switched at the last minute. Matter of fact, the game was like a day before it came out. They told people, "Oh no, it's not going to be in Steam. It's going to be in the Epic Store." So they've been doing some sneaky things out there when it comes to trying to grab some exclusives from Steam.
My bad. Hold up. Shout out to the truth. I didn't see you. My bad, man. You probably been down here like, bro, they ain't gave my shout out yet. I got you, bro. My bad, the truth. You here, man. We do it up for you, man. He called K-Bud, he put all our names in there. He's like, look, okay, so level K-Bud, D2K, keep I'm not getting my shout out.
Okay, my bad, Alex. I talked to the guy, and he told me, this is what I heard. He told me that they were giving the Epic Store code. So I thought they were only giving Epic, but you telling me they were giving both. Okay, my bad. I missed. That was bad information there. But I know it was a very similar game where it was like a day before the game came out. It was supposed to come out in Steam, and then Epic got the rights to it and made people have to switch over to the Epic Store and get it from there. I don't remember the name. Yeah. I had to get that from the guy. But yeah.
So basically, they just trying to generate any attraction and traction to their service.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, they try to get people. Yeah, any way they can.
Okay, because I'm with you, K-Bub. I don't see the big deal with these three games. That's why I didn't think about it. Because when you say, what's the games again? Detroit and Beyond.
Detroit, Beyond Two Souls, and Heavy Rain.
No, nobody cared. Now, if they would say Heavenly Sword, I might have would have maybe looked at it a little differently. But that's a game, man. That's a game that Sony wasted. That's a wasted IP, man.
Well, maybe we'll see it on the Xbox one day.
I don't think it's a wasted IP. You can't do it without.
Why you so hold on? Why you say that, D2?
Because they own Ninja Theory now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Ninja Theory game?
Yeah, Ninja Theory. We talked about that.
So there's a chance that it could come to the Switch.
I don't see that happening.
I'm messing. Look at that. I was on that for D2. I'm messing, man. Go ahead.
I don't see that happening because
a PlayStation 3 game.
I guess they could. I don't know how that works.
You need Andy. You can't make that game without Andy.
Who? The developer?
No, Andy Serkis. He's the one that did all the motion action. The one that did all the motion action.
Oh, you can kill him off and introduce another villain.
He was the one who put the character in the movie. Like he create like the whole story and everything was all him. All the he directed all the video, all the live action. He directed.
Kill him off.
No. I'm not saying no. It has nothing to do with his character in the game.
Oh, okay.
The game was his. Is what I'm saying.
But get the dude who acted out Kratos.
No, I guess you're missing the point here, brother.
Go ahead, make the point. Maybe I am.
It's not. It's the fact that the story of Heavenly Sword was so intertwined with him. To do it without him is it's taking away the person who had the vision for the game in the first place. That's the point I'm trying to make. That he is the vision of the game, and
But
to do it without him is saying you take away the one of the creative minds behind the game.
Well, that's like saying if you take away Miyamoto from Zelda, you won't get Zelda. But we know that Anuma has been doing this. Is it Anuma? Yeah, I think I'm right. Yeah, he's been doing his thing on Zelda.
Yeah, sometimes it works.
I'm saying I believe
sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, well,
I can only think of one time it didn't work, but that was with Skyward Sword. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, Skyward Sword was only because of the motion control. I like Skyward Sword. I think it got one of the dopest stories. I did get tired of the motion controls at a certain point. You just got like when you had to hold it up for the lightning and all that. I kind of felt stupid in my front room. My wife looking at me like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like that I did kind of feel like we had to head out of town, and I'm trying to beat what was his name? What's the last dude's name? Demise. I'm trying to beat Demise, and I'm hurrying up, and you got to hold it up to get the electrical, to get the power up, and so I'm in the front holding my hand up, and my wife came into the room, and she just looking at me like, I married you, didn't I? Yeah, you said I do, babe. But no, I thought the game was dope, but the motion control did get old. But if they take the motion control out, Skyward Sword, I think people need to revisit Skyward Sword because to me it's one of the better. It's one of the better storylines
one of the ones that didn't work level is when what's my man name? I don't got my man name. God of War dude. When he stopped doing God of War and we got God of War Ascension.
You talking the black guy?
No.
Which one?
No. I'm talking about what is my man name? The creator of God of War.
Oh,
one that cuss all the time. Forget that boy name.
Samuel Jackson.
I don't know. I wouldn't know that one.
No, I know exactly. I can't picture his name, but he stopped doing God of War, and we got God of War Ascension. Terrible. And then this other guy just picked it up, and if in the comments you can help me out with the guy who created God of War. I cannot think of his name.
No, I don't.
But once he left, that's when we got crap God of War.
Well, which God of War was it? Which one do you say was crap? Was it Ascension?
Ascension.
I didn't think Ascension was trash.
It was crap.
No, it wasn't, man. It wasn't 3. It definitely wasn't 3.
It was below every God of War before it. It was the worst God of War. It was the worst God of War. It wasn't better than 1. It wasn't better than 2. It wasn't better than 3. It was
it wasn't better, but I don't think it was any less formidable. I would say it definitely wasn't better than 3. But 1 and 2,
I didn't even bother getting that game. That game was not good.
You never played it?
No, I didn't bother. I played like some aspects and watched it. Man, that stuff was boring.
No, I can't give you that, K-Bum. It wasn't bad.
Tiger King know who I'm talking about. He can't think of his name either. Tiger King knows that. Thank you, Dark Sunrise. I said Ascension was pretty bad. Thank you.
Come on, Dark Sun. It was bad. I'm losing today, man. Ain't nobody agreeing with me on this show today. Nobody. Captain Marvel is a brilliant specimen.
Oh, come on, man.
Now Ascension was pretty bad. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was great, but I played it and beat it. I thought it was all right. I ain't had no problem with Ascension. It was some aspects in it that was stupid, but there's also some aspects that was great. It definitely wasn't God of War 3. Now, God of War 1 and 2, I don't have as big of a relationship with them 2 games. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I do. I played those in the dorm room talking. David Jaffe, that's his stupid name. Could not think of that man's name to save my life. David Jaffe. He's the one who created God of War. He was the one that created genius mind behind it, and he left. And that's why we got Ascension.
Okay. But it's like I said, I don't think Ascension was trash, but it wasn't God of War 3. But we got God of War 4, which was better than all the ones before. In my opinion, God of War 4 was better than all the other God of Wars. Period. Hands down. Argue me that it wasn't. Argue me on the show that God of War 4 didn't kill all the other ones.
I won't make it. There's some arguments, but I won't make it.
You might be able to find some aspects that was problematic, but you wouldn't say that the other ones were better than 4.
Two was epic,
but it wasn't better than 4.
2 was so epic that when it came out, the Xbox 360 came out like a month or
2
so
was
before.
I'll give you that. That's
month or so before, and 2 looked it better as a PS2 game than the 360 game.
Okay, was the gameplay? Was it the gameplay or the story?
The gameplay was even bigger than the first one.
I'm talking about what made the games great. Was it the gameplay or the story?
It was all the above, man.
I think it was, to me, after a while, the gameplay got redundant. It was the story. I wanted to see what Zeus was about to do to these Titans. That's all I was trying to see. I was just playing through it and beating these hordes to see what Zeus was about to do and what Kratos was about to put his hands on Zeus. That's all I wanted to see. To the point I was like, look, I'm just gonna go to YouTube and watch all this.
I think God of War was a very good hack and slash. I mean, it's still a hack. It's still a hack and slash. So you can only be so creative with a hack and slash.
It's a decent hack and I think the story helped.
It's a hack and slash. It's a really good hack and slash.
It's decent. When you play other
it changed up enough to keep and added new gameplay elements. Like, you could still do the same move over and over and over, but they continue to give you new weapons and new things to do.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you the truth, K-Bum. As a hack and slash, if you take the story out of God of War, the hack and slash is not as good as other hack and slash games. Like, I wouldn't say it's better than Devil's May Cry. I wouldn't say it's better than.
I don't play Devil's May Cry because
Devil's May Cry, as far as the hack and slash is great. The story sucks.
Man, you can keep that hack and slash doing 1,500 hit combos and people.
What you think you doing with Kratos?
Minutes. Man, you ain't in every 15 minutes, man.
You can be if you good enough.
I can't stand Devil May Cry.
I don't like Devil May Cry 2. I'm saying as a hack and slash, Keith, D2, y'all can jump in here. As a hack and slash, Kratos ain't the best hack and slash.
Well, I actually have to jump out because I have to go. Okay.
I would say Bayonetta is a better Bayonetta. I would say Devil's May Cry. There's a few other ones I named before I would say God of War. What made me love God of War
was the
storyline.
The total package of God of War makes it better than the rest of the
right. The total package, yeah. That's the storyline because the storyline is just too epic. But like Heavenly Sword, the hack and slash is way better than I think so.
I wouldn't agree. I like Heavenly Sword, but I didn't think the hack and slash was better. I enjoyed it though, but I didn't think it was better.
I think it was, man. Switching that sword up and some of the stuff you could do, the flips and the acrobats. I thought
you must be able to just pressing the same combo for the last 10 hours of the game. That's probably why you said it about God of War.
No, I know all the combos and God. I'm not saying God of War is
you ain't switching weapons out here and popping off.
I'm not saying it's a shabby hack and slash. I'm saying when you just pare it down to just that, there's other games that do that a lot better. But it's the storyline that to me set it apart. Like the story was just ridiculously epic, where the other game stories all suck. So outside of hack and slash, like Bayonetta's story is terrible. Like, and it's hard for me to stick with it for a long period of time because the story is stupid. Like after a while, I did all the hacking I really want to do. The only thing keeping me going is the story. God of War, I'm all in on that, front to end. I want to know. I need to see what Thor's about to do. What Kratos is about to do. I need to see what Zeus is about to do. I need to see all that. I want all that. But the game, as far as the hacking, that gets old fast for me. But anyway, we just went off to a whole nother thing. Well, this has been the Live and Level Gamers podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed. I thank you for all tuning in. I'm going to let these guys sign out, starting with Keith. Go ahead, bro. Is he still here? You muted if you're talking, Keith.
I'm here. Yeah, it was a great show. We got a chance to talk about Stadia, Google Stadia. Got a chance to talk about Cuphead and how some of us were sharp and how some of us weren't. I think it was a decent show. Look forward to whatever happens in gaming in the future, like this week. Uh, yeah, man. Deuces.
K-Bomb.
Yeah, man. Enjoyed the podcast, man. Outside of the first 15 minutes, it was a good podcast. We had had a good time. Good to have all the fellas here today. D2K, Keith, uh, everybody in the such. Comment section came through in the clutch at the end. Got it popping. Man, that was like a nightclub up in the comment section. The live chat towards the mid end of the podcast.
Right.
Appreciate you guys coming through, man. I always enjoy chatting it up with you guys live. And no, man, enjoyed it, man. Yeah, go see Captain Marvel, guys.
Yeah, go out, take your wife and your children, buy lots of popcorn. Make sure you get a couple of those slushies so you can have a whole bunch of sugar in your system so you can see the whole movie. Because you will doze on a lot of that movie. But anyway, appreciate all you guys jumping into the live chat. Y'all kept us up to speed on some things. Shout out to Alex in particular and a few others, Blue Boat, The Truth, Cornelius, Dark Sun. And if I didn't, Tiger King was also in there keeping us up on things. So I appreciate all you guys. If I didn't name you, don't count it to the heart, count it towards the mind. But I appreciate y'all all being in the live chat, egging us on and giving us information when we can't pull it up ourselves. I do that every podcast.
Yep.
But I enjoyed it. Hopefully see y'all next week. Till then, folks, deuces.